All right. Hold on, let me see.
Well, let me see if let me pull it up in a browser
Oh, I
actually.
got ads and shit up in here. Oh, we got 14 people on here right now.
Okay, so they see all three of us. That's what it is.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. So yeah. Oh, okay. So that's what it. So, all right. So if y'all go to the link. All right.
Yeah, so we're live.
Yeah.
Like officially live.
Okay. Cause we can, but we can't see each other, like on the actual. Can y'all see? Like y'all can see like the actual people, like through the what you call?
I see you. Like we're live right now.
Yeah, I know that. Oh, back to live mode.
Like
All right.
pull it up in your browser. You got another
No, I
browser?
have it on my browser.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I have it on my browser. And then I got like the comments over here loaded, but you can't see Javon. I mean,
Nah,
through the
but
browser you can.
yeah, I see him on the browser. It's cool. I'm gonna
That's cool.
just have to improvise like that. To be honest.
All right, hold on, let me see something, cause I can switch it up a couple ways. It's just like let it load up a little bit.
Yeah, I like that right there.
All right, let's let a couple more people. That's weird. I don't know why it's like that. Let's see, reset link, cancel. Thanks, Javon. Go like, see, that's why I said go to. Nah, so the thing about Riverside, the reason why I didn't go Riverside is because I couldn't stream it. I couldn't stream it
Yeah,
through.
you could. I sent you the instructions on the streaming. Oh well, though we already here. This will work.
Yeah, it don't matter. I really want us to be able to see each other. That's weird. Yeah. And alright, it'd be alright. We'll figure it out.
Well, we're at time now too. It's
Yeah, nah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just kind of waiting on people to come in and
Okay, cool.
all those good things. Cause overall, it's gonna be a fun little conversation. Fun conversation. Let's see.
The first time I got to lean back in the chair in a minute. Really relax, man. Damn.
That's wild. So y'all can't see each other at all.
Nope.
Nah, but I see him on the screen. It's cool. I see him on the
Yeah.
on my browser, my actual tab.
Is your browser lagging or is it a real time?
Yeah, it's gonna lag.
It's
If you-
behind. It's a couple seconds behind, but it's not a big deal. Like,
Right.
Like,
because
y'all don't
muted. It's muted anyway, you know? Like, because we're live.
Y'all don't have like no settings or nothing, like on there where you can like click nothing.
No. Not for-
Nah. I'm just pretty much watching.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we can hear each other, so that's what's.
I
most
can see
important.
comments from live viewers though. I have that tab, and I see the guest chat.
Okay, yeah, because it's supposed to be like it'd probably be like two people where you can like show and hide the interview, where you can see each other.
Yeah, there's nothing like that for us.
I don't know.
That's all good.
We can switch. There's arrows. Lets us switch back between me and the host, but it doesn't give the option. Yeah, y'all can see us on your end. I'm happy to say that, but
Yeah.
on
Somebody
ours,
on they can see it.
we can't all see each other. But like I said, it's okay, Tay. We'll just move on from it. We don't. I don't.
Oh,
think
I
it's
see.
gonna make
Yeah,
or
what
break.
you just did though, Tay, worked. Whereas like, whenever we're talking, it kind of goes back to the person that's talking.
Okay, so that happens.
Yeah, I see that there.
All right. Say something, Javon.
What's up?
Did you switch?
Now we gotta wait a couple seconds now though.
Ah. All right. Somebody said they can see us, so I guess that's all. Man, we'll figure it out. That's the first
they can
one.
see us. They can see
Yeah.
us. We can't see each other, but that's totally fine. We can
Yeah,
see
that's
each
Nah,
other.
cool.
it didn't switch either, by the way. Oh, but it switched for me though. I think you just gotta like wait a couple seconds or talk a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's probably definitely that.
Yeah,
Like,
but when he's talking, I'm not seeing him. So
yeah.
Or good.
We'll
this is
figure
the
out
funny
next
part
time.
about working in technology, man. Nobody in technology is gonna stop until they solve technology.
Oh man,
there is no moving on.
it is what it is.
Nah, but I do think as well. Well, let me see. I do think if you
Oh, okay. So oh, okay, that's why I got like that on the live stream. People saying they can see us, so I guess that's the only thing that matters.
Yep.
So it's all good.
which format you prefer?
Oh wait,
though?
hello,
You like
hello. Can y'all see each other now? In the regular
Nah.
screen?
Nope.
Nah.
Damn, I thought I had it. I thought I had it
Nah.
that time. I thought I had it that time. Oh well, man.
Yeah,
We'll
leave
figure
it.
out
Leave it
next
as
time.
leave it as 3 of us though, so they can like see all of us at the same time.
Yeah, that's how I got it.
All right, cool.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, 5 minutes
Okay.
in.
Yeah, y'all was side by side. Yeah, we 5 minutes
All
in.
right.
Sorry,
Okay,
y'all
I
for the
think I got
technical
it.
difficulties. Jeez.
So they said side by side. All right, okay. They saying all right.
Yeah, yes.
So it's another way too. Like you can do it like this.
We can't see yet. The
Yeah.
side by side is ideal though. Yeah, somebody said this is good right here.
All right. Okay.
That's
All
good.
right.
Yep. Let's leave it alone.
All right. Nah, I'm just kind of glad we got that out of the way. At least.
Cool.
I bet we gonna. Got my glass of wine, you know.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, what's going
Let
on?
me
Yeah,
know.
sorry for the technical difficulties.
Let me let people know that we on.
That's
Yeah,
part
nah.
of it.
It's side by side on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at him. I don't even know my password.
Peace.
You said what?
No, I'm just reading the comments telling everybody good evening. And I'm my greetings out.
What's
Hey,
going on, everybody?
What's going on? What's going on?
Going on?
Ah, yeah. So it's after 5 o'clock. So you know, it's after 5 o'clock.
This is a very informal conversation, guys. It is an AMA, so feel free to, ask anything you like, cybersecurity related, Tay's the finance guru, so finance related. I think after this or during this conversation, we're going to be premiering the video, right? The offensive security video. So if you guys
Yeah.
have any specific questions regarding like offensive security or like ethical hacking or anything, ask away. If I can answer, I'll answer it.
I had to cut my volume up and stuff.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I wish I was on my Kevin Samuels. You know how you be having this little music in the background. I actually think you can. Thought Tay lost the password to the channel. Nah. Alright, got a little people coming in. Hold on, I'm finna go tweet it right quick. Hold on. Is that it? I think that's it.
And myself and Moolah 3 on the phone right now. Yeah, crazy. When people ask what do you do for a living, are you hesitant to tell them as far as being a hacker? That's a good question. I am a little bit, because I don't want people to think that like, I'm a bad guy. So I try to provide a quick explanation, like, immediately, like, it's, to try to remove that perception of like all hackers being bad. So I'm hesitant on like what I say though, depending on who the person is. a pretty good judge of character. And so yeah, I mean, just depends what they're asking though, like, what the follow-up question is, because it's always a follow-up question related to that.
Bro, I almost tweeted my damn password. I almost tweeted my password. Hey, that was gonna be wild right there.
Do you have to learn coding in order to do cybersecurity?
To a certain extent.
It
Dang,
depends.
got a lot of questions. This is okay. Oh dang, this is a lot of questions.
Oh, people already asked questions on Twitter?
Nah, just on like through the chat, cause I hadn't
Oh,
caught
yeah,
up
yeah.
yet. When people ask you what you
Okay.
do for a living, do you?
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, for me, I'm definitely like, cause like, it's hard to explain what I actually do. Like, and I'll be like, I don't try to insult no one or anything like that. It's more so just like I don't know. I just like I'm the guy that stop the bad guys. I'm the one who stop the hackers, and without just going too in depth with it. But I don't know. It's really difficult to explain sometimes, in my opinion. I'm a security engineer. They're like, what that mean? I stop hackers. I stop
Yeah.
guys
Yep.
from stealing data overall.
I
We
want to
should
go
have
back to
added day in
learn
here.
code.
We should have added day in here.
Yeah,
That's
that's true. We
good,
could
Dave.
definitely have a follow-up. Hey, what's up,
We
bro?
can actually probably add him right now.
Go back to the coding question. What do you think? What's y'all take on that in terms of learning
What
how to
is-
code?
Do you have to learn code in order to do cybersecurity? Was the question.
All right, so I feel like, in my personal opinion, when you're starting off entry level, you don't really need to know how to code, because most of the time you're just doing monitoring. You're looking at alerts. You're not really doing anything where you have to deal with any coding or scripting. And it also depends on the company you work at as well too, because you have some companies where they're like SOC analysts and security analysts are basically engineers. And I've interviewed and talked with companies, and their security analysts are like top notch. Like, hire a security analyst here, but anywhere else you'll be a security engineer. But as you start like to move over in your career and get in higher positions, once you leave like that SOC analyst position to go straight to security engineering, it's definitely good to have like some type of coding experience. Like Python is mostly what I tell people, because it's the easiest language to learn. At least it was the easiest language for me to learn. And I've been kind of dealing with Python for a couple of years now, but I just most recently really just started like having to actually use it. Like, because I use like the companies I've been at lately, we use like a lot of open source tools, and I've also been kind of working at like startup type companies. So they like to kind of build everything in house or have open source customization, just kind of build everything out. So I'm having to go through like GitHub repos, reading through this documentation, looking through the communities, just looking at all this different stuff, and knowing how to code and knowing how to like customize that specific tooling or code is definitely needed.
Yeah, I wanna take a stab at that one too. I know a lot of you guys are cybersecurity professionals, but I want to answer it maybe even from like a network engineering perspective, because it's still relative. So what I'm seeing is like with the shift of people moving into like more cloud environments, a lot of our engineers that I work with day to day are starting to pick up languages like aviatrix and YAML. So they're starting to actually work towards infrastructure as code as like their primary way of working, as opposed to traditional on-premises environments where they're using the traditional ways of working. So that's another thing, just to keep it to perspective. Like, it's not just happening in one area where code is becoming more and more relevant, but even in spaces like network engineering where infrastructure as code is becoming more of a commonality.
So my thing is, so Javon, let's talk about you. Like we never talk about you. Like, you went from being like a computer science, like me and Javon used to go through it so much in school. Like it was something by him and his damn computer science degree. Like, I gotta have a computer science degree. I gotta do it. It gotta say computer science. I'm like, bro, you can literally learn all of this stuff and not even like you good. You don't need it. And he would, bro, for the longest, this man would not switch his career. Like, I think it was gonna add like 2.5 more years.
Yeah.
To your degree
plan?
plan?
I was looking at a while. I'm so glad we used to have those conversations too, because like when we were in college and we were talking about those degree plans, like I guess because I had limited perspective on what the world really looked like and how people could land opportunities regardless of what degrees they had, like I really was hooked on the idea that having a CS degree was my best bet. But we live and we learn, and obviously, like, you guys stayed on the right path as far as your degrees. Tay, you're a good example, right? Like, you had an integrated studies degree, and were able to combine a bunch of different disciplines to eventually get into cybersecurity, or stay in cybersecurity, I should say, because you had it before.
Yeah.
But luckily we had those conversations because I wouldn't have seen it different. Like, I ended up finishing with a basically a tech writing degree, and I ended up getting into product management, where now I'm working in infrastructure. So not so traditional, but here I am, years later, and it's just a much different path, I would say.
I ain't even gonna lie, bro. I finessed the shit out of my degree. Like, bro, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I tell people my degree, like, because everybody asks me, like, hey, like, do I have an engineering degree? And I'm like, nah. Like, I actually got, like, one of those degrees that you go to school just to say, hey, I got, like, on face value, my degree is worse than a communications degree. Like, and nothing against communications degrees or anything like that. But I literally have, like, I get the degree plan that I have. It's literally the plan that when people, like, can't graduate, they can't pass a certain class, they can't do anything, they switch to this major so that they can graduate. Like, but also the thing with the degree plan that I also had, I was able to customize it. And because I knew exactly what I wanted to do outside of school, I was able to maximize exactly what I wanted to do. So I knew I wanted to get into cybersecurity. Like, I knew I was going to have some type of, like, interest within tech. So I literally, like, bro, when I say I finessed myself, I didn't take no math classes in, like, college.
Yeah.
Took zero math classes. And I barely, in the science classes I was taking were BS. I was taking, like, astronomy and earth science and stuff like that. Like, I literally, like, bro, I was finessing. I finessed the shit out of my degree. Like, I was going to community colleges, taking, like, computer science 1, because UNT won't let me take computer science 1 without taking physics and calculus. And I'm like, bro, I'm not doing that. Like,
it was crazy.
I went through, like, 4 different coding classes at community college to get around those prereqs.
Nah, I feel that. Somebody said I wanted a CS degree until I was pregnant and realized that calculus and physics was too much. I went to info systems and life's been great ever since. Yeah, I feel that. I wasn't pregnant, but calculus and physics wasn't for me.
Yeah, nah, bro. It's definitely like, it's for sure. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it's definitely life changing. Like, if you get in, you just really kind of do it. And overall, like, and something I really don't talk about, like, I talk about, but I really don't talk about, it's like negotiating too. Like, I talk, y'all see, when y'all hear us talking about negotiating, it's always on, like, a professional level. Like, it's not really just like an open dialogue when it comes to negotiation and stuff like that. And I know there's been plenty of times, like, now that I kind of got like FANG-like companies, let me stop saying FANG-like companies, but like big tech companies, bro, I won't even look at certain companies no more, because I know they're not going to match my comp at all. Like, bro, that's kind of like a good and bad thing about working in tech, because once you start getting paid a certain amount of money, like, you just not going to entertain nothing else. Like, if it's not big tech, I'm not dealing with it. Like, and it's nothing like against those companies or anything like that, but they're the only companies that really have the funds and money to not only give you the money you want to get paid, they're going to spend money on their security program. So I actually know they give a shit about their community. Give a shit about their cybersecurity program. They're going to invest in the latest tool. They're going to invest into this. Like, I'm not stressed out. Like, I'm still stressed depending on what I'm kind of going through, but they're going to put money behind this security program, and they're going to put money behind me. So it's like, why would I give this up to go work somewhere else? Like, why would I leave a Google or a Facebook or to go work at a fucking CVS or Bank of America or Chase, JP Morgan Bank? Like, don't get me wrong, those are good companies, but they're not going to pay their security guys what they should get paid. Like, they're not going to pay market value. Like, I get paid San Francisco salaries because most of these companies are based out of San Francisco. I live in Dallas, no state tax. I don't have to do any of that. And I don't know. That's what I really love about some tech companies. Some companies, that habit to where they adjust your salaries based on your location, but because like the demand and just like there's like a lack of talent, they paying now. It's like it's everything's remote. So now you got people from New York, Miami, Chicago, Texas, all applying to these companies, and they get to work remote. They don't even have to relocate. So it actually made like the pool of talent so much more competitive. Like it's crazy now.
Well, talk about that in terms of like a skill set, right? Like when you talk about FANG companies and the skill set kind of required to like get into one of those companies, let alone to even interview. What type of skill set do you think somebody needs? You know, because I think, you know, we're all in different positions, right? We probably hear different things in interviews. We probably see certain things in different companies. But like, what would you say in order to, you know, pass that six-figure threshold we talk so much about as a culture? What skill set would you say someone that's just starting out would have to go, you know, acquire? And how long do you think it could happen? You know, because we see these programs 60 day, 90 day, 120 day, like,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying? Some people do get off. Some people actually,
Yeah.
you know, they become anomalies and they actually go, you know, get jobs. So like, what would you say as a, you know, a senior security engineer someone should go and do like right now?
Okay, so is this more so they're trying to get to the security engineering level, or they just trying to break to the industry?
Well, see, it depends because I started as a security engineer, so everybody's different. But just to get in the
Exactly.
industry, I guess.
Okay, so get in the industry, because like my thing is, man, a security analyst, bro, is just like a glorified investigator. Right? That's really what they do. They investigate. So I just started off as an analyst. Like I went in, I was an analyst for like 6 or 7 months. I got extremely bored. But most of the skill sets that I see most analysts have, like great attention to detail. Like when I tell people this, they think it's just like cliche. Like, what do you mean? Like, bro, when you're going through all that data, going through all those logs, really just going through that stuff, you need to be able to pay attention to catch this stuff. And also having a basic understanding of like networking. Like I always tell people this all the time. You can't secure anything if you don't understand networking at like a basis, like at a base mark level of that. Let me see.
Looks like days in the waiting room.
Yeah. But yeah, like if you don't have like a basic understanding of that, bro, you're not gonna last in this industry. And you gotta really like have that hunger. You gotta really wanna work. Hold on, let me see.
And I think when you add him, because of the format that we have it at now, bring it back to that format where we each had our own like like that. That's gonna be a way easier format this time.
I bet. Let me see.
I'm a piggyback too, Tay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, go ahead and jump in right now. Like why I am.
So the point that I got from what he was saying, which I think is so true, is like, man, them soft skills start to add up. Like we all focus on these, picking up these certs, picking up these experiences over time, but like it's those people skills that's really going to help you get those opportunities that you really want. You know, you can't really get too much without your interaction with others, or like even just your soft skills on the job. Like Tay mentioned, can you pay attention to detail? Can you communicate? Can you, you know what I'm saying, have the ability to stay organized? Like, you know, if you got a bunch of tasks going on, are you actually staying on task, or are you like picking up new stuff while you already got stuff in progress and you're fumbling the bag with staying organized? You know, things like that. If you can show those things up front, I feel like you're gonna be a lot more valuable to employers. It's kind of hard to show those things, but I think they really start to pick up on it as you interview, as far as like, you know, you kind of showing your face card. Like as they're asking you questions, are you coming sharp with your answers, or are you hesitant and lacking the confidence to even get through it? You go ahead, my bad.
No, continue.
I was just saying, like, you know, like the people skills, I think tend to get overlooked as far as just like how simple, I don't want to say simple, but how valuable they actually are in order for you to land those big time 6-figure jobs in some cases, or just the next big gig that's going to help you stay in this industry.
Right. Let's talk about that too. I guess when Day gets in here, but I want to talk about the interviews. Like, what's that process like? Can we, like, you know, give people some inside, you know, perspective on what that process looks like from a high level? What are y'all take on working multiple remote positions simultaneously?
I ain't doing that.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
I ain't doing that. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, I don't understand how. Like, I be seeing people on Twitter and TikTok saying they're working 2-3 remote jobs. There's no way in hell you're able to do all 3 of those jobs to the best of your ability. Like, I'm sorry. Like, the type of person I am, I can't do it. Like doing engineer work for 2-3 different companies, bro. Nah, I couldn't do it. Like the meetings alone would drive me crazy. Let alone actually getting time to do the work. I don't understand how they do that.
Because like engineers, what engineers work is naturally supposed to be meeting less, not meeting lists. Like there's no meetings, but meeting less, as in less meetings. But if you're saying like as an engineer that one job too much, just imagine when you pick up that second or third. Like I work in a job where I'm meeting heavy, so if I'm gonna be trying to pick up another job, like I'm gonna drown. So I can't imagine like if an engineer is saying the same thing, you guys have to be very hesitant about picking up those additional remote jobs, additional contract jobs, or things like that, because you have to think about what you're giving up, the time that you're giving up to perfect your craft in one area, as opposed to spreading thin on a bunch, and then again you have an opportunity to fumble some bags. Like, you could cost companies a lot of money trying to do things like that.
And you can also lose your job too. Because I know a lot of these jobs have non-competes.
You lose the company money, you're going to lose your damn job.
Yeah. Because like I know there's another thing that I see as well too with a lot of people. Because, you know, I mostly work as like an insider threat engineer and all that. So I'm always seeing people trying to steal data or anything like that. What a lot of people try to do as well too, they'll try to take work from like one company and go take it to another company and use that same thing. And I know like some companies, like I ain't gonna say some, I'm not gonna say what company, but there are actually some companies that will call up the company that you going up to and say, hey, they stole our data, and they'll send a cease and desist, and immediately you get fired. They're not gonna deal with that. Like that's so intellectual property when you're working at these companies, bro. Definitely be careful with that as well too, because they would definitely sue.
I like the way you oh, go ahead. Y'all keep going. I'm gonna read this last one after y'all.
Oh no, I was reading. Somebody said, how does the day-to-day differ when comparing your new role to your old? So my old role was like hybrid. So I was, you know, in the office, like, you know, I'd say, and in the beginning it was like 70% of the time, but then it gradually kind of decreased to like 30 to 40%. But now kind of being 100% remote, there's a ton more meetings. Like, you know, kind of got to keep everyone abreast like every day, which you have going on. And then the role actually is different. Like this is my first offensive security red team role. So like now it's a lot more detailed. It's a lot more like in depth. You know, it's just multiple kind of projects kind of going on at the same time, right? That I have to be able to articulate and conduct at both like a high level as well as like a technical level. So like I'm learning to like balance that. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like, you know, the easiest thing in the world, but I do love my current environment and kind of what I have going on, like in all the objectives, you know, that they kind of are going to have me doing in the future. So
yeah, I've pretty much been remote my entire career. So yeah, so I've been remote like the entire time. So I mean, when I was a consultant, I used to travel a lot. Right, I was traveling like probably 3-4 times a month. Like DC, Seattle, San Diego, New York, Philly. Like I was in New York for like 2 or 3 months at a point in time. But it was like, it was great. It was honestly, I can definitely say, bro, if you can get a consultant, like as a, you know, security engineer or anything like that, I would actually try it, bro. Like, cause you learn a lot. Like it depends on where you go as well too. Like making sure it's actually like a reputable like consulting company. Because like sometimes you'll get in some of these companies, and it also depends on the client that you're working with. They have you just straight up doing Excel spreadsheets and PowerPoint presentations, and I'm like, I'm not going for that.
Right.
So I was doing more so like a lot of security engineering work. But I could definitely say like the stuff that I did in consulting definitely had me to where I'm at right now. Because I learned so many different skills. Like I was learning how to do, and I talk about this all the time, like I was learning how to design architects, like building out entire Splunk implementations. Like I was learning like all this different stuff, like building out vulnerability management programs. Like I helped build out 2 or 3 vulnerability management programs. I've helped build like 2-3 insider threat programs. So like I actually have like, I feel like I could probably be a manager, but it's just I don't think that's my thing. Like I don't even think I want to be a lead, honestly. I just want to be a senior security engineer, because it's like once you start to get like higher level on like certain totem poles, then everybody else failures become your failures, and then you get fired. And I don't want to be responsible for nobody else's downfall. Like, I'd rather, if I'm get fired, let me get fired for something I did. I don't want to get fired because my team is not performing, bro. Like, that's just way too much responsibility for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not dealing with it.
Somebody said, what are your thoughts on cybersecurity boot camps?
I mean, honestly, everything you can find on a boot camp, bro, you can really find on YouTube.
Yeah. I don't
y'all
really
gonna
like
pay
the
for it?
cybersecurity boot camp. I think it depends on the type of material the boot camp offers, and the type of certifications. Like, any boot camp with a certification track might help. I know Western Governor University has a pretty decent program I see people talking about, and it's like a CompTIA track, essentially. But we talked about this, like, during I think informally we talked about this offline, where those multiple choice exams are slowly just becoming obsolete.
It's stupid.
So, like, I would definitely try to do some research on like a practical boot camp if they have that, and yeah, just find your niche there. Are there any rules? Oh, my bad, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing when it comes to like cybersecurity, because it's like you don't really know, like, cyber, and I said I was gonna make a YouTube video about this. Like, cybersecurity is probably one of the hardest fields to get into because it requires so much information about so many different things. Like, say for instance, I want to be a security engineer. I have to know incident response. I have to know how to code a little bit. I know network infrastructure. I know how to go. I have to learn about cloud. And so me going to cloud, I have to do cloud detections. I have to know about all these IAM rules. I go to incident response. I gotta know how to reverse engineer malware. Like, it's sub task up on the sub task. So it's like you have to know a little bit of everything to be considered like competitive in this market. And it really sucks. Like, as a programmer, they don't really go through that. Like, you learn a language, cool. Like, and most of the time, like, when it comes to programming as well, like, I feel like once you get the syntax down, it's cool. Like, it don't get that much harder. And then there's like hella resources out here for software engineers, bro. Like, software engineers, like, bro, like, literally, like Google, Facebook, Netflix, they literally know their interview is about to be leak code. They can literally go to leak code and practice all these different like problems, solve them, and they may potentially go in the interview and that'd be their entire fucking interview. Like, that straight coding interview is all those leak codes. I just practiced this for like a month straight. Of course I'm gonna be able to pass it. Like, security engineer, we don't have that. Like, we go in there praying to God, bro, I just worked on this architecture design. I really hope they ask me about this. Like, you studying for stuff that you don't even know if it's gonna be on there or not.
Yeah, that's a big one, especially when you're going through 4 or 5 different rounds of interviews, 6 rounds of interviews. Sometimes it gets rough. It definitely gets rough. I think someone asked that earlier, like way earlier. There's some other questions in here.
Let's see.
Are there any roles you would consider taking a lower salary for, or would you rather stay where you're at and wait for a better opportunity? That's a good one, because I almost did that. I actually almost took a lower salary, once upon a time, because I just wanted to do something else, and that at the time might have been my only opportunity to transition into offensive security. And I almost did it, but I didn't do it. I don't think I was sold on it all the way. It sounds easier than it is.
Love it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't never thought about that. I'm not taking a pay cut. Like, I'm not. Like, I love what I do. I really do. But I'm not taking a pay cut. Like, because you know what I mean? Because I feel like...
I'm not James Harden.
Yeah, I'm not taking a pay cut. And so the reason why I say this is, like, let's just say if I wanted to get into offensive security, or I wanted to become a cloud detection engineer, like, a lot of companies will let you cross train with another team. Like, they will let you get on projects and help them out with stuff. So before I take a pay cut, like, I just join this company at this position right here, and I just start, hey, like, what are you guys working on? I would make myself visible and help out where I can help out, and just learn while on the job. Like, I would just literally just try to maneuver over it and do it like that. I feel like that's probably be the best way if you're trying to make a transition. That's honestly how I transition to a lot of positions, how I learn a lot of different things. Because, like, before I got into consulting, bro, you would have asked me to build out a system design or design a system. I would have looked at you crazy, like, bro, I don't want to do that. Like, but as I started learning more about Splunk and architecture design and stuff like that, it's like, oh, like this is actually something important. Especially with me, I'm more aiming towards like startup type companies. So whenever they need architect designs or system designs for some of their security systems, I'm able to kind of help with that. Like I'm able to, hey, like I feel like this would be the best way we can do this. We can add this here, probably throw in a WAF here. Like I can do that stuff. Now, would I just really say probably advertise myself, promote myself as an architecture? No, I would not. But I've had experience doing all those things. Like I've actually implemented and actually designed and I actually helped that stuff. So I know what goes into doing that. But personally, I wouldn't do that. Like not anytime soon. It's a lot of work. That shit is stressful.
Feel that.
Someone said,
George.
so you guys all have different roles within cybersecurity, like, and I think that's a question or a topic that really needs to be discussed, because I get so many DMs about people just saying I want to get in cybersecurity, and they don't know that like cybersecurity is an umbrella, like it's a category, like it's not a specific position. You know what I mean? So nothing against you, George, because it is a very honest question. I get it all the time, but definitely like. Yes, there are like a million different roles, and us three, we have 3 different roles.
Yeah, why don't we all share kind of like what our roles are and what we do, so we can give them maybe more insight too. I think that'll help. George is asking, so you guys all have different roles within cybersecurity. So, no, well, not exactly, kind of. I think Tay and Travon definitely have cybersecurity roles, I want to say, but I'm kind of like the weird person in the room, kind of just there lingering. But like personally, I work in product management at Salesforce, but I work in network engineering. So I help with our network engineers who are building like our internal infrastructure and things like that. Whereas Tay and Premier or Travon, y'all can explain kind of what you guys do. I think that'll help them kind of get a better idea of like what perspectives we're bringing to the table.
Yeah. Tay, you go first because I'm going to piggyback off of your experience and know how it makes sense.
All right, bet. So I am a senior security engineer. What I'm actually going to be doing, I don't know yet, because I'm actually starting this new job next week. But like kind of based on what I was talking with. So basically when I was talking with like my director, when I was talking about director and all of that, so we got a brand new director. They're expanding the security team. And so basically I'm going to be leading the efforts for threat detections. So this kind of not piggyback, but Travon, whatever, he is an offensive security engineer. So in the real world, like if he wanted to go rogue or do something bad, he would probably try to hack into the company, try to steal data. Basically, my job is to create threat detections that would detect and probably prevent him from being able to launch successful attacks. And so what that may look like, it sounds simple, but you gotta start thinking like I have to onboard all of this data. I may have to implement other security systems, so I have the data sources for those entry points for whatever he's trying to get in contact with. So let's say if he's trying to penetrate or get into cloud AWS, I'd build threat detection, could probably get CloudTrail logs, bring that into a SIEM. Let's say someone's trying to steal data through email. I'll probably utilize Proofpoint or whatever email protection server that you're using. Take those logs, bring that into a SIEM, and basically I'm just taking all of this data and making threat detections or creating queries or whatever you want to call it to identify those attacks. And that can look like a totally different things. I can use Splunk. I can probably use a syslog server. It's just so many different ways that I can do it. And that also kind of depends on like when I'm working with the company or whatever company I'm working with. That's why it's important for me to be at a company where they're going to invest time and money into their security program. Because if I'm just kind of giving like nothing to handle, it makes my job harder, and they still going to look at me like, hey, you're not getting the job done. I'm like, also, well, y'all not giving me no budget or no money to do anything. So y'all basically just want me to collect data from the thin air. I can't create nothing without having all that information. So that's basically what I do.
Yeah.
And me, I'm pretty much exactly what he explained. I'm an offensive security engineer. From a high level, offensive security kind of breaks into 2 different categories. You have red teamers and then you have penetration testers. I'm a red teamer, so essentially the difference is penetration testers just have to I don't want to say just have to, but they have to showcase to, the client or the customer how many vulnerabilities they can find or identify within like a specific environment. There is really like no, it's like a wide range of attacks they can run, essentially with no real objective aside from showing the amount of vulnerabilities they can find. Red teamers, which is what I am, essentially we're given specific objectives based on identity vulnerabilities found or identified in the past, and we have to essentially recreate those sorts of attacks and pretty much show how far we can actually go, essentially.
Yep. Damn,
But
y'all
some
gave such
companies,
great
sorry,
experts.
sorry to cut you off, but some companies I know they merge them. It's like penetration testers are red teamers, and I wanted to tell you guys the difference or explain to you guys the difference because it actually come. Yo, Tay, hold on, your keyboard is like.
Oh, what it's loud.
It's killing
It's
me.
also.
Like I'm sitting
They got a
trying to
mute
talk
button,
over
bro.
it.
Yeah, nah, my bad, my
You
bad.
good, you good.
Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right, my bad. That thing be clacking.
But I wanted to explain the difference because it came up in an interview one time, and I didn't know the difference. I didn't really know there was a difference, right? Like I think people just hear about like ethical hackers or like offensive security engineers, and they just leave it at that. But there is a difference, and yeah, it can be asked in an interview, and I got that question wrong in an interview.
I feel that. No, y'all gave such good explanations. Hold up, let me explain a little bit what I do, man, because I feel like I just be kind of playing down now. So for network engineering, like our teams, we focus on our company's like internal network. So you have all of your 80,000 plus employees who are on a secure network. So I focus on our data center and backbone and our perimeter teams, which are two different teams, two different areas of our network. It's like things like how do we scale our backbone to where we can kind of support all of the customers that we work with. When I say customers, I'm talking about like service members or service owners who are using the internal network, and then perimeter, like locking down the network perimeter, is another one of the things that we really focus on. So we like in product management, it's a little bit different, of course. Like we kind of help with like the priority, the vision, and the strategy. You can kind of imagine like if you're a company that has 80,000 plus people, 80,000 plus employees, well, you have to find a way to scale that for all the different services and products that are internal to us. So that's kind of like where we are. But of course, you have people who are trying to penetrate the internal network as well. So we have to do a lot of that perimeter security efforts as well to kind of make sure that our data centers are secured.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Do I have
Nice
any resources?
explanation.
I'm looking to switch over to red team in the future.
That's a question for you. I don't know.
It's so many
That's a
resources,
try.
man. Yeah, like it's a bunch of resources. I mean, of course, like you could go to offensive security route, right, and kind of use their entire coursework as some experience, as some resources. But if you want like I'd say an overall path and like understanding of like certain methodologies in each phase, I would definitely say DCM Security's PEH course. And in fact, I think they put up the first 12 hours on YouTube for free. So I would say like definitely them as a provider, they I think in my opinion they provided the best sort of coursework and like preparation guide as it relates to like red teaming or pen testing.
So what made you switch from blue team to red team?
I think I just got bored, man. I think I just got bored, One thing about me personally, and it's just a personal thing, like I get bored very fast. And so, like blue teaming, essentially, you get to a point where, you learn, you do a lot of the grunt work, a lot of the trench work, but then you get to a point where you begin like automating things, right? Or you get to a point where like everything is
Yeah.
where it should be.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
It get repetitive.
yeah, it gets really repetitive, and eventually I just got to the point where I'm like, man, in order for me to stay in cybersecurity, like, and continue to kind of be like motivated, I need to go do something else. Like, I have to go do something else. And so, did some research. The first cert I heard obviously was the CEH. You know what I
Can't
mean? And I
even
kind of
hack.
just, yeah, and I kind of just took off from there. You know what I mean? From there, YouTube obviously is like where I find a lot of my online mentors and people that were actively, hackers or red teamers, whatever you want to call them. And I kind of use them as like my my mentors that they didn't even know they were mentoring me at the time, and I kind of just studied their methodology and understood what the phases actually look like, and what I was supposed to do. A little bit of try hacking, a little bit of hack the box, and then it's like, all right, cool. Like I think I have a pretty good understanding as to what I should be doing here, while still having that blue team or that defensive sort of background behind me. So that's what helps, is because I'm so familiar with certain defense mechanisms. I actually am better at attacking them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, especially when you understand the defenses. Like if you understand the defenses, then you should know how to offend it, and vice versa.
Yeah, it's like knowing your enemy, essentially.
Yep.
All I'm saying is you couldn't get through my security mechanisms.
Challenge me, Tay.
Just send Tay a picture with some malware behind it while he's drunk. He'll be all right. Right. Don't make.
I don't even click links, my boy. I ain't gonna lie to you. The way bro. You know what? Let me not even say that, because I ain't trying to put a target on my back. Because that's so fucking embarrassing, bro. Imagine calling yourself a security engineer or calling yourself a hacker and you get hacked. That's embarrassing as hell, bro. Like,
oh, did you see? There was, I can't remember which company or crypto project it was, but there was like a software security engineer who got like a fake interview offer from some company, and when he clicked the link, like it compromised his work computer, and they took like a huge hit. I mean, it was just ridiculous, but it was actually a software security engineer who was responsible for the exploit after he clicked on a faulty link from a fake job application.
That's an active attack like method right now. Like people are contacting individuals that work at certain companies via LinkedIn, recruiters specifically, and sending them resumes, and like that is a real thing. That is like really, really going on. So like what Tay said, man, don't click random links. Like even with the whole docx documents, like stop opening document, just editable documents, I guess, to say the least, if that's even a word.
I'm good. Alright, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like when I say because I'm in this field, I'm so security conscious, bro. Like my passwords are like 20 characters long, and I don't even know them. Like I could not tell you. Like remember I was telling y'all, like we was trying to sign in, I was like, damn, what's my password? Like I don't know any of my passwords. Like none whatsoever. This is what I use. I use a YubiKey. Like I have YubiKeys everywhere. Like I don't, bro, because I know what's possible. I can see what's kind of going on, and it's just bro. Like I'm paranoid as hell. Like any email, anything I see, like even when it comes to like certain emails, and I ain't never seen it, I don't even unsubscribe to them. I spam them, because me personally, if I was a hacker or if I was someone that was trying to steal your data, I would embed the malware inside the unsubscribe link. Like click it, unsubscribe, boom, there you go. Like that will make sense to me. And so I don't click nothing inside of emails. I see some spam, reporters phishing, and go about my business. Like I'm like so security conscious when it comes to that stuff. Like I'm paranoid.
Somebody asked what the work-life balance is with each of our careers.
My work-life balance cool.
Man, it's amazing.
Yeah, like I ain't gonna lie, like when I ain't really just like, we ain't going through like big projects of doing like big implementations, I'm really chilling. I'm probably working, like actually doing work. Like I'm mostly probably like in meetings and stuff like that, like trying to get like requirements and updates, status updates and stuff like that. But overall, man, like my work-life balance is cool. Like I ain't gonna say exactly how many hours I work, but it changes. Like it definitely varies, but I don't work over 40 hours a week. And if I do work over 40 hours a week, it's because I chose to. It's probably because I couldn't figure out something. And that's the thing about working in tech. Especially as any software security engineer, it does not matter. If you're really into that job and you're really like passionate about it, you're not going to stop until you solve the problem. Like I still remember, like I was trying to build somebody Splunk, and it took me about like 10 hours. Like I was up to like 2 o'clock in the morning because I could not figure it out. And it had nothing to do with my manager saying, hey, like, I need you to stay later to do this. Hell, bro, he saw me online on Slack. He was like, hey, Tavon, you need to get offline, man. You've been working all day. I'm like, when I get this done, like, I'm going to make sure I do, like, companies, like, bro, like, it's not really what you think it is. But when shit hit the fan, it hit the fan.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, I mean, I don't know how you guys, like, when you start at companies, but typically when you start at companies, depending on the type of person you are, like, it could get, it could be a little overwhelming. Some people look at that as an opportunity to kind of, when they start a new job, like, let me chill, let me actually take advantage of this lax time. But me personally, I actually take advantage of, like, learning as much as I can learn as, like, fast and efficient as possible, so that later on I can kind of coast, right? And that'll be my chill time, you feel me? But typically for me, with both my jobs, it's been like, it's ramped up the first week because I'm trying to catch up to what their processes were prior to me joining the team, right? So it's like they don't have to keep explaining things to me, so that's just me personally.
Bro, I was working at Robinhood. I got through in the fire the first fucking day. I got through in the fire the first day, bro. Because, like, can I talk about that? It's public knowledge. But anyways, I don't work there, but still, like, the second day I was there is when they announced layoffs. I'm an insider threat engineer, bro. I built out so many mechanisms and stuff like that. Like, I'm trying to, like, say stuff without actually saying it because I don't really know if I can get in legal and get in trouble regarding that. But, bro, like, the amount of shit that I had to build as my second day here, it was crazy, dog. Like, I was just like, I got through into the fire. I mean, take granted, I kind of like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, and I didn't even have an onboarding session. Like, it's normally at Robinhood, you go through like a week or two of like classes, like, learning how to secure code, learning how Robinhood or learning how they do things. I didn't go to none of that stuff. Like, my second day, I'm like full blown in a fire. I don't even have access to everything yet. Like, it was just like, all right, let me build this out. Let me do this. Let me do that. But, I mean, I loved it there for the time that I was.
Yeah.
How has being a minority affected your career in the industry? Sorry. No, go ahead. My bad.
No, you're good. We can answer that one, too. I want to just answer her original question about the work-life balance. Honestly, I feel like your work-life balance is really what you make it. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, there's some jobs that are going to ask more of you no matter how much or little you put out. But honestly, like, it's just like with relationships or like friendships and things like that. You got to start setting your boundaries and finding a way to kind of like, this is the capacity that I have to do this job effectively. It needs to be known. Like, I can't stretch more than this, or like, you have to know that for yourself, of course. And the more you make that kind of known through your team, through your manager or whoever, I think you put yourself in a better position versus like, if you just do everything that anybody asks of you to do, you're going to burn out. You're going to find a point in time of your career where you're like, I just feel overworked. And a lot of times I feel like that's because some of us don't learn the effectiveness of setting those boundaries in your career, like to where you can actually be effective at your role, commit to work, and know that, this is the most I can really get done in a given time period, or so to speak. So, yeah, I think that really needs to kind of be noted.
I agree with that as well, too. Learning how to say no is big.
Yeah.
Because if not, you would be they'll have you doing all types of shit. Because I know it's been a couple. And my thing is with me, though, because like I said, I genuinely like this career field that I'm in. I don't kind of mind, like, as long as I don't feel like I'm being taken advantage of, I don't really have a problem doing some of the things that I do. Because most of the time, like, right now, like, I mean, everybody know now, I'm going to go work for Ripple. Like, immediately in the interview, I told them, like, hey, like, I really want to work with the blockchain security engineers and cloud detection. And I was like, wow, like, you're going to be working with them anyways. So I was like, oh, it's cool. Like, now I'm working hand in hand with them. Like, I've been learning all this blockchain stuff. Like, I've been into crypto, but I ain't never really just dug into it and just really researched it. Like, I was just like, oh, it's the future. That's not really understanding. Like, And me and Givon, like over the last couple of months and stuff like that, he'd be sending me articles and stuff like that. And now I'm getting to the point, bro, if I don't understand something full, and he just made a post about this, if I don't understand something completely full, like I fully understand it, I'm not putting my money into it, bro.
Right.
Like, bro, because it's so many crypto projects out here that's worthless, like not worth anything.
Like sentiment might be good. They might got good marketing.
Bro.
They might boost it up. But in the fundamentals, do you understand the technology that you're actually investing into?
No, bro.
If it's not there, I would rather invest in a fundamentally sound project that doesn't have as much hype. At any moment, the people who are responsible for causing the hype can pull that fucking money out, and you're left with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a great point, Alec. I'm glad you brought that up. But yeah, the point is, like understanding the technology and things that you're kind of invested into, even in your career, right? Like fuck, like how many people have like worked in a job where it's like either you didn't understand the stuff that you were really doing, or you didn't even enjoy it to the point where why am I invested in even working here? Let alone, like, we talk about investing like a money thing, but your time is an investment. So if you're working on things where you don't feel like it's a good investment, why are you even in it? Why are you doing it? Why are you working this job? Why are you putting your money into this? Why are you putting your time into this? Like, I think whether you understand it or just simply don't believe in it or enjoy it, that's where you have to start questioning things.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with that as well too.
How do y'all feel being minorities in y'all field?
Respectfully, I'm gonna be real with you. Oh, you can go, John.
Nah, go ahead, Tay. Go ahead. I was just speaking.
Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't really had no racist experience. I dealt with a little microaggression. No, I fucking lied. No, I didn't. Like, I'm not gonna say he was racist, and I'm not gonna say what company it was. But one of my managers, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I quit like mid-meeting, like, cause it was just like I talked about it a little bit on Twitter too, but I don't know if he had it out against me or like what it was. He was like trying to offload all of his work on me. Like, he was like a principal security engineer, and one of our managers, like at that point in time, bro, I went through like 2 managers. We was just like, our leadership just kept coming in and out the door. Like, it was like a revolving door, and I was just like, this too unstable for me. And he got moved to be a manager, and not everybody's a good manager. Like, his people skills was ass. And as a manager, bro, you gotta have good people skills. Like, he don't know how to talk to people. Like, and I be trying to be professional. I'm really trying to find a way of like not to say certain stuff, but it was tripping, and I was just like, nah, I ain't dealing with this. Like, I ain't got to deal with this. And that's when I went on a little stint. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go 2-3 months. I'm just gonna chill, like, just chill out a little bit. I'm gonna just chill. And then I came to Robinhood. But nah, bro, like, that was hands down the worst manager I've ever had in my life. Like, and I like to say I've had pretty good managers. Like, I've never in my life had a problem or a situation with a manager where I just felt like I couldn't deal with it. But him, bro, and I'm not gonna lie, a manager definitely can dictate the trajectory of your career too, depending on where you at, because they pretty much have the keys. They have the keys to the kingdom. Like, you just kind of gotta experience it. Like, you really have to experience it. Just have a bad manager, and that was the first time I just had a bad manager. Outside of that, I mean, I have like a little bit of microaggression. Like I said, I kind of came a consultant really young, and I came in like as a senior consultant. So, like, I had a little bit like mid-level. Like, instead of entry level, I was like mid-level, and I was leading some projects, and people were like always try to double check my work, and I'm like, bro, you don't even understand this. Like, I had to explain and break it down to you. How are you going to double check work that you don't even know? Like, right. And you don't even, like, I'm building out queries, I'm doing this. They trying to say, oh, can you, like, why you do it this way? Why you do it that way? I'm like, bro, you can't even write a query. Why are you asking why I'm writing certain stuff? Like, why? It don't even make sense. So outside of that, I really haven't had like no racist experience. Like, outside of that, bro, honestly, like, I've had great managers. Like, my most recent manager at Robinhood, hands down, outside of my manager from like Optiv when I first started, her name's Ashley. great manager. Next to her is probably my manager I had at Robinhood. Like, he was so cool. Like, bro, he gave me free reign. Like, and he cool. Like, he's super cool. Like, I would definitely go work up under him again. Like, I would definitely. If he went somewhere else and he was like, hey, I'm starting this team, I would definitely go work for him again. And, that's the thing about managers, bro. Like, managers can make or break you. They can make you hate your job. They can have you loving the job. And I'm not going to lie, like, at a point in time, like, I was on Twitter, ran like, bro, I'm not even enjoying cybersecurity no more. I'm done with it. Like, I'm finna just quit. I'm not doing anything. Like, I was really, like, he really had me questioning my skill set, because it was just like, every time I do something, this wrong. You didn't do it right. I'm like, buddy, I asked you for feedback 2 weeks ago, and you want to wait till we get on a call with the entire team and just rip the shit apart. That's why I scheduled this call that you missed out on 2 weeks ago. And it was just like, I really felt like he did that on purpose to, like, I don't know. Like, he was weird. He was the worst manager I've had in my life. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say what company it was. It was Procore Technologies. I don't care.
God almighty.
Yeah, it was Procore.
Damn.
So if you see this,
Travon,
you know what I'm talking about.
Trayvon, you got some insight there?
Nah, not really. I love all of my managers, if I'm being honest. If I ever had like, an issue or needed a certification or, just wanted an event, whatever the case may be, like, all my managers been there. But I know some of us do go through different things and different experiences. So
Yeah. I'll say, so the question, how has being a minority affected your career? Aside from like management, I'll give a different spill. Like, it becomes almost a responsibility in some cases. I don't think every case, and I don't think it's like you have to, but I've always felt a sense of responsibility as a minority in the industry. And it's something to do with, like, you know that you're a few of very proud people who look like you that are in the role that you're in the position that you're in. So a lot of times, like, that concept of, like, the chip on your shoulder, like, first of all, let's start there, right? Black people carry this mindset, and it's a known thing for us to work twice as hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go into this industry with the mindset that I have to work twice as hard as everybody else, like, right out the bat. I got a chip on my shoulder, right? It's just this mindset that you kind of carry sometimes. But, like, two, you start to feel a sense of responsibility because you know that others are looking up to you, and you know that, like, the people around you don't understand your world. They don't understand what it's like to be who you are, or be like what you look like. And sometimes, like, you have to step up in areas where, like, again, I'm not, like, an engineer perspective might be different, because y'all can be introvert and not say a damn word and hard as hell and get shit done, and that's it. But, like, sometimes, like, in my role, I guess because we're required to be a bit more extroverted, like, we have to step up and say things where it might not be as comfortable. Like, for instance, take holidays like Juneteenth comes around, right? Like, you might feel like because you're a minority, you have to, in this industry, you have to step up and, like, say things to people who don't understand that world as much. Or even, like, outside of just the social topics, if you talk about technology, being a minority in this industry, you feel like you have to take a stance and actually show up for yourself, because otherwise people are going to undermine your ability. Like in Tay's case, people are going to undermine, like, what you're actually capable of. And you feel like that, and you know it. Like, you know that people are going to look at you differently simply because of the color of your skin. And it's like, I'm not saying everybody is going to do that. I'm not saying that no matter who you come across, but at the same time, like, even being a minority in real life outside of the industry, you know that that's something that comes with it. So it's just like, I think it carries over in a way, and you have to tread in a way that you're conscious of it. So I think, like, if I'm to answer that question right, like, that's the best way for me to say it, is like, you have to tread knowing that you're a person of color in this industry, and there's very few of you, and people already look at you might not be as them. So, just keep that in mind as you're navigating the industry as a person of color or a minority. But at the same time, be comfortable with who you are. Be yourself. Don't go in this industry and try to be something that you're not. Keep being yourself and speak up where you feel like you need to.
Yeah, and kind of speak on that too. Like, I didn't really, like, cause I've always kind of, like, I've never been a type of person that embed myself in, like, company culture, cause it's just like, it's just not me. Like I recently just started doing that. Like as I started working for like bigger tech companies, we have the ERGs like Blacks and Ripple or Blacks and Robinhood or whatever they may call it and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, that was the first time I actually experienced being able to like truly be myself like in a company. Like normally I'm just to myself, not really talking. I work, go home, that's it. But like I was actually, I believe like in Robinhood, that was the first time I was actually like, hey man, like I like this culture. Like I like this. Like it's really cool. I got a safe space. I can go talk. It's a lot of people just like it was like a lot of us there. And that really meant a lot to me as well too. Like I can come there and I can talk, have a conversation. I'm like, am I tripping or do y'all feel like this too? Like, especially like when the layoffs had happened, like they was having like therapy, like vent sessions. Like we all got on like a Zoom call and it was just like vent, like y'all just vent. How do you guys feel about your friends and stuff getting laid off? Like all of this, like it was like ERG programs. Like if you're in tech and your company has an ERG program, I definitely say get involved with it. Like you'll find a lot of people.
But that's like a weird. See, I've had a weird experience with that. I'll be honest. Like I got into. I'm not gonna say which company, but I got into one of the ERG groups, and like literally every single person, I get it. People have things to complain about. People have things to vent about. But like that's all it was. And I was in a Black ERG group. Like
oh, so I wasn't like that.
See, like that's what I'm saying. Like I was in one that I thought was gonna be like open door, everyone is positive, forward looking, and I got in there and it's just a gossip group. And like I didn't expect that, but it's just like I don't think it's always guaranteed that those groups are always gonna be efficient in terms of what you're looking for.
But it also depends on the company too.
It depends on the company and the culture and things like that. The culture of even the group itself, you know what I'm saying? Like what does it become? Who's leading these ERG groups and things like that? I just had a negative experience that one time, but again, it's one experience out of a million that I possibly could get. So you never know.
Man, we was there reselling sneakers. Hey, who got bro? I'm telling you, bro. Like they was in there, man. Like, hey, bro, I got a couple sizes in this shoe right here. Anybody looking for? Like, bro, they was really like that, dog. Like it was like black culture. It wasn't just like it was like nah, like have y'all listened to this new Drake? Have y'all? It's like conversations. Like it's like. It ain't always negative. It ain't always bad. It's just straight like, hey, so what do y'all feel about this new album? Y'all fucking with it? Y'all not? What is it? It was like that.
The thing is, we in an ERG group chat, they talking about like they're typing about who they don't like as managers, VPs. I'm like, bro, I'm not.
Like we got access to all this stuff, bro.
I'm not like any of this.
It was actually, I'm not gonna say what company it was, but we actually had an incident where they was talking about they was gonna go to the CEO house and like shit on his doorstep. Yeah, they said they was gonna shit on his doorstep, and it was just. I mean, we weren't really tripping about it, but we saw the threat, and we was like, all right, like that. So be careful what y'all talk about, because the company can see it. Like that's primarily my job. My job is to be in your fucking business.
Somebody asked, what are y'all goals moving forward? But before we answer that question, I want to shout out to Blacks in Cybersecurity, because I know some of y'all are new and probably looking for resources. I think that was a question earlier. Someone said, like, what resources would I recommend? Like, the Blacks in Cybersecurity Discord is probably the first resource I would recommend. Well, it's definitely the first resource I would recommend to anyone looking to start out. Regardless of race, right? Like, regardless of the name. But a quick story about Blacks in Cybersecurity. I found out about the group in January, right around when I decided like a transition. I wanted to transition into offense, and Blacks in Cybersecurity had a cohort program, a red team cohort program, in which they actually paid for my OSCP exam. Actually sponsored it for me. So luckily I didn't make them look bad, but to be able to kind of be granted an opportunity like that, just the state of like society in general, right? Like you mentioned earlier, you're just kind of always on edge in your workplace and wherever else you are, like to kind of still feel like there's love out there, and more so being from like your own people, like that definitely just kind of like motivated me to like want to give back. Like it was just that right there. So definitely shout out to Blacks in Cybersecurity again. They're a wonderful team over there, mods, wonderful people over there, and you have people of all skin colors, all races. in all different sorts of,
Right.
positions from entry level to managerial that are always willing to help in that Discord. So, regardless of what you're looking to do, like try to get in that Discord. I don't think it's like an open Discord. I think you have to apply. I think
Yeah.
it's like, limited spots. However, if you can apply, you do get in. Yeah, like
Take full
this is
advantage.
yeah, take full advantage of that, man. I can't think of enough. And for goals, my goals, oh man, right now is to kind of get more familiar within my current role. But this year, long-term goal, like short long-term goal, midterm goal, I guess, would be to get what you call the OSCE3 or Offensive Security Expert, a certified
Hmm.
Hmm.
expert. And I'm looking to get that. I'm looking to attempt all three exams within the next year. Prior
Nice.
to that, though, I think I'm going to take that that CARTP exam. I'm going to sign up
That's
for
the
the boot
one they
camp in
took, right?
September. Nah,
Oh,
this is the one from Pen Tester Academy.
okay.
And it focuses on Azure. It's like certified Azure Red Team professional, something like that. So like I talked to my company about it, and they're gonna allow me to take it and kind of, lead that sort of like operation, I guess, in a sense, whenever those do come up. But those are like my technical, I guess, goals, my short term to midterm technical goals. What about y'all?
Can
What goals y'all
you?
got?
I was
Um,
laughing at this message by Blacks in cybersecurity. Can you may not have filled out your form correctly. Get that form filled out right, man.
I can
Come
be
on, I
BSing,
can.
bro. I can be playing. I can not really be trying to do nothing. Nah, but my goals for me, man. I don't even know really. I'm just going. Like, I know, like, I really want to transition to like blockchain security engineering and like more so cloud. Like, I mean, I'm in cloud kind of sort of really a little bit just because like I have to mess with that domain. But like, I want to be like a specialized person in like blockchain security. And the reason why I say this is like, as we all see, crypto it isn't going anywhere. It's here to stay. Cloud is here to stay. It's not. It's very young. It's been around 10-ish plus years. Still very young. Companies are still developing into it. Blockchain security engineering is very new. And so the reason why I want to go into and navigate into one of those fields, and the reason why I even chose Ripple, I want to be part on the side of history. Like I want to be part of history being made. Like I know if anything new get discovered, I'm able to be like, hey, I discovered this. Like I wrote this. I was able to do this using this. Like being able to just say like I was one of like the first people to kind of work with something and discover something within it or just anything like that. Like that's always been a goal of mine. And I know even with cybersecurity, like I don't really do bug bounties or anything like that. Like it's not, bro. Being a bug bounty is a bouncer, bug bounter, whatever. That's a lot of
Bug
fucking
bounty
work.
hunter, man. Come on, man. No
Man,
disrespect my
same
side.
thing. Yeah, bounty hunter, whatever. But it's just, bro. Like when you see some of them people, bro, like they don't have a life, and like I
No,
still want to have a life.
I get it, man. But me personally, I kind of took pride in that because I knew I wanted to transition. Like you got to think with offensive security, and it's not even to kind of like talk bad on any other role or like organization
Mhm.
because it's every we're all moving parts essentially, right? We're all working
Yeah.
parts, all are important. But offensive security, I think Heath Adams made a video about it, like being a hacker, right? Quote unquote.
Mhm.
That is like an upper echelon part of the freaking cybersecurity
It
umbrella,
is.
that we talk about. You
It
have to be
is.
dedicated. And me personally, I don't care to like, I told y'all informally before the last interview, I was like, yo, like I don't remember the last time I went outside. Like, more recently I've been able to actually have some fun and, hang with friends, but that was my plan. That was what I personally wanted. I wanted to be in offensive security. I wanted to, stay in cybersecurity, and I wanted that to be my role. It
Mhm.
involved me staying indoors for 6 to 7 months to really lock in. I knew that. You know what I'm saying? And to your point, you're right. There are a lot of introverted, individuals in this space, but I'm telling you, like from owning and running my own Discord server, those are usually the most decorated individuals that you'll get
Yep.
around once you actually start talking to them, like to be honest. And I won't even
Yep.
say them, like us. Like we're the most decorated individuals, like once you start talking to us. Like just because, I don't want to talk to you about not just as a topic of Drake song,
Yeah.
right? But I'd rather talk to you about Kerber roasting doesn't make me any less or more like, the conversation any less or more important or interesting. It just means
Exactly.
you can't relate to me. You know what I'm saying? Like so I love kind of being around, individuals that are in that space because like bro, I feel like a kid, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm in a playground. You know what I'm saying?
At
We're
a
sitting here going
playground,
through
bro. That's the
we
best feeling.
Yeah, like we went live in my Discord to go do a hack the box, competition. We all placed top 100. Like it was three of us, I think, but we all literally were able to kind of like compete, and we spent like 8 or 9 hours in there. You know what I mean? Like just competing and hacking live.
And
Like
that's another point too.
everyone wants to be a hacker. Go ahead and host like a hack the box or CTF event like in a Discord and see how many people last longer than an hour or two. People don't understand how long you have to be locked in for it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So like I take pride in it, bro. Like and I love the community. You know what I'm saying? Introverted or not, like I love it. But it works for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah, and that's you made a good point too. Like when you had made that point, you was like you didn't see outside for like 6 or 7 months, and people don't see results in them getting in the industry after a month of watching videos. They're like, why it's not working? I'm like, bro, like you have people that's been dedicated. Like he just said, he didn't go outside for 6 or 7 months. He is already in the industry, and how long you been in the industry? What, 4 years now?
3 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next year will be 4 years. So yeah.
Yeah, so he's been in this industry, and he still took 6 to 7 months to make a career transition as an offensive security engineer. And you have people that's complaining about taking too long to actually get into the industry. Yeah. Like that's like you really have to be committed to go get in this field. Like it ain't just like a overnight type of thing. And I'm glad you said that and you made that point. Like, yeah, I spent 6-7 months learning an entirely new skill. And the thing about it, he's already he understands all the fundamentals. He understands all this stuff. He even probably already had like an understanding of offensive security engineer. Probably already knew how to do some stuff, cross-site script and all of that.
Yeah.
But for him to actually master a skill, and I wouldn't even say master, because I feel like in cybersecurity,
you can never master it.
Yeah, you never really master nothing. But it's like you got to be dedicated, bro, to actually be good and to get the big bucks.
CVE, like, geez, like all these CVEs. I have a channel on my server for like specifically.
What's the CVE? For the people that don't know.
It's a vulnerability, basically. I forget the acronym. Geez, my bad.
All right.
But it's basically a vulnerability that someone found like on a platform. Somebody else could put the acronym in there or explain the acronym. But when you see how many of those populate pretty much like in the channel alone within a day, it's like that's how many people have found like, an avenue for an attack, essentially. And yeah, like it's just an amazing field. Like I'm never bored. I wake up every day and I'm just like, damn, like I gotta learn something else. Like, it's something else for me to learn. It's another attack vector. It's another, adversarial sort of, path that I gotta mimic. Like it's just, it's fun,
Feel that.
I really need to do a CTF one day.
Common vulnerability and exposure. Yeah, I didn't want to say the wrong C meaning, but yeah, we should do what you said.
We should do like a CTF one day on here.
Yeah, I'm for sure with it.
Man, I haven't done a CTF. Yeah, I haven't did a CTF in like since college. I had to go backtrack and go relearn everything. I haven't done that in so long. I think I'll do pretty good. I was on Hack the Box for. I'm not gonna lie. Hack the Box was like the most interesting, like CTF type of sign up or resources that you can use for learning offensive security. Cause like you literally have to hack to sign up to get into it.
Yeah. Well, not anymore.
Oh, you have to do that?
No,
See, that's how long it's been since I've been on there.
Yeah, you just have to sign up and you get right to it. To be honest, connect to the VPN and go right at it. But it's no steps or anything, Like I really enjoy TryHackMe for those that do want to get in the field, because TryHackMe has certain steps and objectives for you to kind of follow and understand certain concepts. Hack the Box is no instructions. Like you have to kind of know what you're doing to an extent and be able to think, like they say, like it's cliche, but think like a hacker. But it definitely challenges you, and it kind of allows you to apply like some of the fundamentals and concepts you learn like within an environment.
Pornhub is another one that you can do as well too, but you gotta download
completely different because
you gotta say Pornhub.
Like, man, what? I'm like,
nah, but the thing about Pornhub though, I don't know if they still do that, but you gotta download like the virtual machines and all that, and I don't know if you want to have all that on your computer. Personally, everything's in the cloud now, so I try to not download as much stuff as I can. I try to stay away from it because, again, I'm paranoid. That's just me in general, though. I gotta stop being so paranoid.
Paranoid about what? Oh, just like
Yeah, bro. It's crazy out here,
you don't
man.
trust antivirus?
Man, I don't trust. Fuck no. What antivirus you use? So, bro, you tell me in 2022 you using antivirus?
Nah, I don't use antivirus. I'm just
Okay.
asking you. Like,
No, fuck no. No, like,
I probably shouldn't have said that live, but
oh yeah, nah, antivirus, bro, on a personal computer is probably that just don't work. Bro, you can load up a Metasploit module and get past the antivirus so quick.
Damn, so I need to
Like,
get rid of my Norton.
man,
oh man,
probably the worst one here. Nah, bro, I don't, like, when I think about that, bro, that's another thing though. Not be thinking about some of this software that like these companies sell to consumers. It's like, bro, this shit's so worthless. Like Microsoft Defender, worthless, bro. Like it's,
Spending a damn thing.
bro, like antivirus is, it ain't worth it.
It
That's good
depends.
to
If
know.
somebody is going through enough work to bypass AMSI, like that is what did you do? I'm gonna ask you what you did. You know what I mean? Like that's not as simple as it sounds, right? Like let's not completely just shit
Okay.
on
Okay.
the Windows Defender and such. But if someone actually went through all that work to bypass that, which I'm asking y'all questions.
Yeah. Okay. So let me say that as well in general too. So hackers, and Premiere. I'm glad you Premiere. I'm gonna just say, like, they look for easy targets.
Yeah.
So it's like the harder you make things, they don't really care unless they really targeting you. Unless you just being targeted by somebody, bro, you're really good. Most of these security mechanisms that you probably put in place, you're good. Like, they looking for easy targets, something they can pop in, pop out, go about their business. And like a lot of times, if y'all don't know, like it's a website called Have I Been Pwned. You can literally like type in like your phone number, your email address, and like all that stuff like that, and it'll show you every like data breach you've been a part of. And I know back in the day, Pastebin, they used to always drop the data breaches in Pastebin, and you can literally go search your name and you can see your password. So a lot of the times, bro, whenever people are hacking you, it's because you're probably using the same password for 10 different fucking platforms. Like your bank account information, your social media, your Yahoo account. I still don't understand how people are still using Hotmail or Yahoo at that. But it's just, I don't know. Like that's really what you got to think about. That's why I change my passwords like every 90 days or so or something like that. And I don't even know any of my passwords because at the end of the day, bro, you can't really control a company being breached and data being stolen from that company at the end of the day. Like it is what you can't really do nothing about that. So the best way to protect yourself is that's why at companies and stuff they have like password policies put in place. Like they won't let you repeat the same password. Like I think the last 3 passwords they make you redo it like every 6 months. That's why, because they know at the end of the day they're going. In cybersecurity, it's not about when you're going to get. I mean, not if you're going to get breached. It's when you're going to get breached. It's going to happen. Like it's going to happen.
It's definitely a fact.
Nah, yeah. Cybersecurity, brother, you're gonna get hacked. As a company, just making billions of dollars, whether or not they actually stolen the data or somebody just got in there and got the lurking around and they found them, somebody gonna get in your network.
So one question here I want to answer, because I think Tay, you can respond very well with this, or to this, is how often do you guys have to network to get new opportunities, or are you at a point to where companies are coming to y'all?
Why you gonna put me on Front Street like that?
You the decorator away here. I ain't gonna lie.
Honestly, bro. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, like, I don't really have to apply to jobs anymore. Like, I have like a network of recruiters. Like, I still keep in contact with all the recruiters I talk to. Like, cause you never know. Like, I mean, I interviewed at Spotify. I didn't get the job, but like the recruiter that I ended up linking with, she was like my recruiter for when I was interviewing for Peloton. And, I was like, hey, like, I'm looking to dip out, I'm looking to do this. And I bet, let me set you up to interview. Boom. Like, I don't apply to jobs at all. I hit up the recruiter and say, hey, I see you guys got this position open on LinkedIn. Here's a copy of my resume. If you think I'm a good fit, let me know. And even then, I don't really, like, with this job at Ripple, they reached out to me. Like, with Google. they reached out to me. Amazon, they reached out to me. It's just like once you started like getting like start working at certain companies, all these companies pretty much like in competition with each other. They're primarily looking to steal you from that company. Like right now, Amazon, they building out a privacy engineer. Wait, can I say that? Fuck it, I don't care. They're building out like a privacy engineer program, and it's the specific company. They're going directly to their privacy engineers and taking them. Like it's a competition to them. Like it's a competition, bro. It's a game. Like I'm not even gonna lie. That's why you see like some companies they give like I think Microsoft gave like a retention bonus. I think like a year or so ago.
Yeah,
they keep some of their top engineers because they know companies are actively out here stealing engineers. Just like, all right, let's take him. He a great engineer. And sometimes they don't even they interview you. But say for instance, I work at a Google, and you know, a recruiter from Meta or Facebook, they'll see me directly. Oh, he works for Google. If you're able to pass a Google interview, I know you can pass a Meta interview, vice versa. So it's like, all right, we still in talent now. Like it's really that's all it is, bro. Like it's really a game to them. Like it's who can steal the most people when it comes to like those bigger tech companies.
And you were hesitant in the beginning before I answered that, and that goes to the next question. How do you decipher what information to share on social media when teaching people about the field, especially if you're a hacker? Yeah, it's just certain things I can't say personally. Like I just, it's very clear what I can't say, so I try not to even explain like a concept that has anything to do with the company that I'm working for, and that's being a hacker or not. Like I don't even get into that because I've heard of horror stories of people actually getting fired because of that. And I mean, that's just just kind of keep your mouth shut. It's just you grow up, you get older, you know what to say and not to say.
Exactly.
If you have to ask yourself, should I say this? You probably
shouldn't say it.
Right.
Because you definitely them NDAs a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like
you can actually lose your credentials, your job, go to jail depending on what you're saying. Like it could get really bad. So I try to not even really, talk too much about what I have going on, me personally. But if there is something like a widely known vulnerability, for example, like Log4Shell, right? Like, then I can kind of discuss that, like with, somebody that I'm casually just chilling with, right? Because it's a general thing that everyone at the same time is kind of focused on,
And sometimes you even got to be careful with that, like, because I know with me, like I said, I'm not even going to like discuss Ripple at all, like, because first off, it's a startup, so it's a late stage startup, so because I'm an employee that work there. And even though some of the knowledge is public, it's like, oh, like I wouldn't like. I know people like, oh, so what's your thought on Ripple? What's your thought on XRP? I can't really speak on that because no matter how I feel, it can be completely different from what the company is like going. Like I can be clueless, but because I work there and I have certain access to data, they're gonna automatically assume and think this information is right, is true, is correct. And you can get in a lot of trouble with that. Like you really have to be careful with like how you talk and how you do things. That's why now when people kind of like, bro, like my DMs has been blowing up since I was like, oh yeah, I'm working at Ripple and stuff like that. Oh, like they asked me about the lawsuit. Like, hey, what's going on with the lawsuit? I'm like, I ain't even started. Like, I don't know. Like, and why would the hell I even speak about that? I don't know, bro. It's just like I don't think people really realize the legalities. Yeah, like it's just there's nothing like if I like whenever I start working, I wouldn't even talk about my job honestly, because like when those late stage startups, bro, it's like so much like private data, private information that just don't need to be talked about. Like it doesn't make sense. Like
it's that because you're saying like you guys are a startup. It's like that means everything. Like consider every avenue of that business being a startup. Security. As well, like security is one of them. So, like they're still kind of figuring it out. So I didn't even think about it from that perspective. But yeah, that's interesting. I never thought about that.
Nah, yeah, you definitely putting yourself at risk. Like say for instance, I get on fucking Twitter and be like, oh yeah, like I'm not even gonna talk about like. And most of the times, like when you're looking at companies and stuff like that, you go look at a job description, you get an idea what their tech stack is. Like at job description, we look for an engineer that's working with Splunk, QRadar, whatever it is they're using. So you can kind of take out like what they kind of look for. Like in a job description there, vague as fuck. It was like have experience with SIM systems, have experience with maybe regex, and regex is regex, it's universal, it's whatever, you parsing data with whatever you want to call it, like cloud, like they don't even have like, oh, is it Azure or AWS or it is, it's like they kept it like very, very vague, and I feel like it's pretty much why I said what it was. They don't really want people knowing what they're using. Could be it, could be not, could just looking for general information regarding that. I don't know. But yeah, bro, you just gotta really be careful, especially in security. Like, it'd be a shame if the security engineer is the reason why y'all got hacked. So
Right. What type of questions were you getting in interview? Don't give me your specific interview process, because I know companies, they kind of don't like that.
yeah,
Like,
NDA. I definitely
yeah, I
signed
know.
NDA.
I know, like, throughout your like job hunt, right, as it relates to your role, like what were some of the questions? What did they kind of revolve around?
Okay, so this is not any specific company in general. This is just like as a collective. Like when I was interviewing, like I was interviewing with like a lot of big tech companies and stuff like that. Coding, I did a couple coding assessments. Did threat modeling. I had to do some regex. So like using regex to like to parse data, parse information. I also had to do a take-home test. So I said, VPN into like this server, did all that, and I actually like that. That was fun as hell. I went through that. Like honestly, like when you kind of get to like the level of like senior security engineers and stuff like that, bro, the whole questions, like I haven't really been getting asked questions like in years. It's more so conversation. Like, hey, I seen you did this. Let's talk about this. Like, walk me through that. Walk me through this. It's more so like a lot of like, oh, what's your experience like with some of these other things that you've worked on? And more so just like scenario based on like whatever they may be using their tech stack and stuff. I may be asked a question regarding that. Like, I know with some of the coding sessions I had, like I use Python. They give you a choice like, hey, which coding language you feel more comfortable with? I feel more comfortable with Python. Okay, cool. We're going to use Python for whatever we're going to be doing.
Right.
And what I was doing, it was mostly scripting, so I didn't have to deal with like data structures or algorithm or anything like that. I probably like build out like a simple, and it's something simple. Like I may have to build out a Python script that'll go in and rename all the pictures using, whatever, like using for loop to go in, go rename all this and stuff like that. Just showing that I have the ability to go in and go automate tasks and stuff like that. So it wasn't really like super intuitive with algorithms and all that stuff like that. But it was really like little simple coding tasks I had to do. But I feel like the hardest thing that I had to do was probably that lab, and I had to do an architecture design. I had to do a system design for like some systems for like a cloud architecture to scale. So that was another thing I did. So I've done a lot of things. It was definitely, and I think what a lot of people don't realize when you're going through like this interview process is mentally draining. Yep. Like, bro, 5-6 hours of interviewing in one day back to back, like that's not fun, bro. Like it's mentally draining.
Yep. Yeah, no, I definitely relate, especially to like, one, the draining part, obviously, but like you said, the conversation, it's just kind of talking to different technical individuals, for just hours on end, essentially, but on my side of the thing, it was kind of like a lot of, once again, the scenarios as it related to certain common, offensive attacks, to say the least. But some of them got in depth, some of them didn't get as in depth. One time I did have a take home and I had to build out a command and control framework. That was one of those fun take home projects, like you guys said, like I kind of enjoyed doing that, because that eventually develops into something else, like once you continue kind of working on it. But yeah, those conversations definitely suck.
You got the code on GitHub?
Nope, not yet. Not yet. Not yet, but
you plan on putting it out there?
Yeah, it'll be out there eventually. Yeah, it won't be a Cobalt Strike type tool, it won't be that in depth, but
for the people that don't know what a command and control, can you explain what that is?
Yeah, it's essentially just like a client server based or modeled sort of program, right? I would send a client to somebody's computer, for example, that's configured to connect to my server, right, or my host machine. And if and when you do open that code, let's say I do, implement something to kind of tell that code to run or that program to run, as soon as you open it, I'll connect right to you and essentially have I'll be able to command and control your machine depending on the capabilities of, both the client and the server. So for now, I can just run like arbitrary commands. I can make some files. I'm working on upload and download functionality now, but yeah, hopefully I can have something real nice to kind of showcase, at a security conference eventually.
Oh, y'all going to Afro Tech?
I don't know about that one, but maybe I don't know.
I think I'm gonna go.
I think you disconnected too, by the way.
Yeah, no, it is. I'm changing the
okay.
battery pack.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm changing the battery. But no, like, I think I'm gonna, cause I haven't been to Afro Tech in like years. Like, I haven't really, I really want to kind of start going to more conferences and actually doing stuff. Like, I just been kind of like in my own little world. And so,
Dallas has the DHA.
Yeah,
that
Dallas Hacker Association. Yeah, I know about it.
That was a cool event.
But it's also too, I kind of want to be like in a situation. God damn it, I kind of want to be around my people too, though. So it's also more so like that, and Dallas Hacker Association, crazy. That's actually how I got my internship, my very first internship. It was actually through Dallas Hackers Association. So that was actually extremely dope. We was actually doing a CTF, and the team I own, we ended up winning. And the guy, Brian Mort, I don't know where he work at now. He's like a CISO somewhere. And he gave me my first internship. And after that, he helped me get every internship after that. So yeah, it's great, dude. Loving him there.
Are you going to DEF CON? I cannot, unfortunately. I have a family engagement that weekend, but yeah, hopefully next year.
That year, they actually paid for me to go to DEF CON too. That same internship.
Word.
So it's pretty dope.
You been to DEF CON before?
Yeah, I went 2015, 2016, I think.
I have not been to DEF CON yet, sadly.
Yeah, nah, bro. It's a little it's kind of scary.
No, I know. Oh, no, I know.
Like, you walk around there, you got to have everything on airplane mode.
I'm buying new devices when I go there. I'm not even bringing personal devices, to be honest.
Man, I best trying to bring a Chromebook over there. Nah, it's scary though. Like it's extremely scary. Like those are like some of the smartest mother you will ever meet in life. Like that. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Like sometimes I be like, cause even now, like I haven't been like in like years. But I still look at their talks. I still look at it on YouTube and stuff like that, bro. And just like how smart these people are, bro. Like it's hard to really just like think like how I don't know, but it's just like the way how they just like their entire thought process is like it's completely different. Like it's just like how would you even think about that? Like what like? But also I guess that also comes with experience as well too. Like once you get experience. Sure. You see all this stuff, and like they literally know how a computer work, like that's from the process level. Like they know how the architect of a fucking computer. They understand every fucking aspect of it, and it's scary, bro.
It's scary learning it, to be honest, because a lot of people think you can just run an Nmap scan these days and go and brute force into a domain page, and now you own the system. But like, this is 2022 now. Like now you actually have to kind of know what is going on behind the system.
Exactly.
You have to be able to interpret JavaScript, interpret HTML, etc. You have to know how to run burp and conduct things manually. You have to learn how to craft exploits sometimes. So like, kind of being around, some experienced people, that imposter syndrome hits me from time to time. Like, damn, like, do I belong here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, can I actually do this? And then I'll go and whip up something and be like, oh yeah, I belong here.
And now I hear you talk, I can literally understand why you went offensive. Because I'm not gonna lie, like, I feel like I hit like a stagnant place as like a blue teamer. Like now, just hearing you talk, it's like. And I think that's why I want to kind of like drift off the cloud of blockchain security and stuff like that. Because it gets to a point where it's just like I'm stagnant. Like and now I'm relying on these other technologies to have like some bullshit or something go on so I can craft the threat detection for it. Like I'm more reactive than actually proactive. So I can actually see that. Like that actually kind of makes sense on like
Yeah.
why somebody would probably make the transition.
I mean, but think about it. Like blue team is so important, right? I don't want anyone to go, leave this stream like, oh, he's shitting on blue team. No, blue team is so important, but you technically wouldn't have a blue team without a red team or without an adversary, right? Like there would be no, no mission or no sort of incentive to kind of have like defensive mechanisms there. So like, we put that in retrospect and now think like, oh wow, like you have bug bounty programs and you have offensive security engineers, like guys that are, trained or like have a passion of, of breaking computers. It's like, man, like really think about it, So it goes hand in hand though, it definitely goes hand in hand. Like then that's where purple teams obviously are formed, right? So it's all a collaborative effort essentially. But I see the cybersecurity, um, trend, right? Like first with cybersecurity, I think soon we're gonna start seeing everyone wants to be a pen tester or like an ethical hacker. Like that's what we're gonna start seeing. Like I kind of see it now.
I don't like. I see it happening. So many people gonna fail. Like if you can't even take the time out to become a SOC analyst, you're not taking the time out to be an offensive security engineer. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen.
Being red or blue, and what side are you agree on? Red is offense, blue is defense. Just think about it like that, essentially.
And
blue,
purple is a mixture of both.
Yeah, purple is a mixture of both. Blue will have some defense, defensive configurations or like mechanisms in place, in an environment, and red will have the objective of like breaking those or trying to bypass some of those, faulty configurations. And when they come together collectively, right, to kind of, provide proof of concepts of how they did it, that's pretty much a purple teaming, and it kind of leads to like remediation, right? So it's just like, one hand helping the other. And I think what side are you three on? What side are y'all on?
I got a question. What was the most humbling experience that you had during the interview?
I went in an interview expecting, because Active Directory is this new thing, right? Quick derail, like you see the OSCP, CRTO, PNPT, you hear about all these offensive security exams and they all revolve around Active Directory. So you almost like think like, damn, on every interview they're gonna ask me about Active Directory. I wound up going to an interview one time and they asked me nothing about Active Directory. It was actually all web. And that had to be the most humbling experience. Like I sat here like in this chair, and the guy's on the camera, and I'm just like, man, I actually don't know. Like actually, he was asking me to kind of explain certain attacks, but not, hey, this is cross-site scripting, this is, blind SQL injection, here are the purposes. It was like, no, like how do they work underneath? Like what's happening?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Break
and,
it
like,
down.
That's when I realized like, oh shit, like, yeah, I actually have to know this. Like, I should know this, but at the time, once again, I'm early in my transition. Web wasn't my focus. It was Active Directory, so now I know, okay, yeah, like that's why I said OSWE, like this is definitely going to be my next, offensive security exam, probably like later this year, because now if you ask me some web exploitation questions, I'll probably, give you an interesting answer. But that had to be so humbling because I didn't think I was going to get moved on in the interview, and I was kind of discouraged about it, like low key, like, damn, like I actually might have just forfeited myself,
Now, I just sometimes those most humbling interviews be the ones that you actually get. Like, because it's crazy. Like, sometimes you'll feel like you just had the best interview ever and you don't get it. I feel like I've noticed, like, the interviews where I felt like, I'm like, damn, like, I don't really know how I feel about this. Those be the ones I get. And it's more so just like, because what people like to do in interviews, they like to bullshit interviewers. And when you're dealing with these people, like, it's cool to say you don't know. Like, hey, I'm going to research this, I'm going to figure it out. Because once you start, like, and it's also cool, you can also say, like, I don't know, but, like, let me kind of talk out loud to see if I can probably get to a situation or get to a problem solution. Because most of the time, it's not whether or not you get the answer right, unless they asking you, like, what is port 22 used for? Then that's obvious. Like, when it comes to scenario-based stuff, it's more so like, let me see how you think out loud. And I know, like, with a lot of interviews, especially, like, with Amazon, they'll literally tell you, like, whenever you're doing something, think out loud. Like, we want to see how you think, see how your thought process is. Because a lot of times your thought process by itself is like, oh, like, I didn't think about, like, that is an interesting way, but you're going the wrong way. Have you thought about this? Like, it's been times where I've been thinking out loud and they talk me through the problem. And I know another thing you were saying as well, too, like how, like, when it comes to cross-site scripting, like, how does it actually work? I think one of the, like, the most humbling moments, I had two humbling moments. One of them was like, this was like very early in my career. It's like when you type in a web address or you go and type in Facebook.com, what is happening? Like, what is actually happening on the back end? And I was like, I don't know. Because, like, I didn't understand how DNS records and all that. Like, I didn't understand how any of that stuff worked. I mean, like, how important it was. But people don't realize, bro, DNS and security is important as shit.
Yep.
You sending through queries, command and control centers, to like, it's very important that you monitor for DNS requests and all that stuff like that. But I think the most humbling interview experience I had is when I interviewed with Airbnb about 3 years ago, 3.5 years, just before they IPO'd. And bro, to this day, I still don't know how I got that damn interview. Like, I still don't know how I got that interview. Bro, we interviewed, I came in that thing as like, I'm like, okay, security engineer, I can do this. Bro, that shit was straight web. I was like, what the hell? Like, bro, I got off the phone with them. I was just, I literally just like, honestly, I don't think I'm fit for this. I don't think I have skills. Like, cause bro, I was so embarrassed. And I still remember making a tweet about this, bro. I was so damn embarrassed that I couldn't answer any of those questions. I was just like, bro, please get me out this interview. Like, you should have seen my face, bro. I was so damn embarrassed. But after all the interview questions they asked me, though, I definitely went back, reviewed it, like, studied it, came back. Probably should apply it again.
That is a very, very important part. Like, very, very important. Like, do not BS an interviewer and tell them that you're going to go study something and you're like, you know, mid rounds, you know, and you actually get called on. You don't.
That definitely ask you about it, too.
You didn't go study about it. Bad. Oh, now another question I wanted to ask for both of you: have you ever interviewed with a company that asked you, I guess, questions that kind of insulted your intelligence, and you're like, eh?
Yeah, I've actually ended interviews before. Like, it's just like at certain levels, at certain positions. Why are you asking me that question? And I get it. Like, I understand, but it's like, don't ask me the difference between the HTTP and HTTPS as a fucking security engineer, and you see all of my experience. And I understand now, maybe because there's like so many people BSing and lying about their experience and stuff like that. I can probably understand it, but I've actually ended interviews before because some of the questions they kind of asked was like insults, and I was just like, yeah, you know, just kind of based on some of the questions, I don't feel like this is probably going to be aligned with my skill set. Like, I mean, I ended like kind of professional and stuff like that, but it's just like at this point, it doesn't really make time. And I only actually ended one interview, but he was like so degrading. Like, it was just like it was almost like he was trying to find a reason for me not to like get the position. And he was just like, yeah, like, I don't really know if it's gonna be like your skill set. It may be a little too senior for you. And this was like years ago though. And it was just like everything he was saying, it was just like negative. And he would ask me and this was a recruiter. So it didn't even get past the recruiter. It was like he was gatekeeping this out of that. Like, he was just, and I'm just like, bro, I'm good on it. Like, if the recruiter, the initial person that I'm having conversations is acting like this, I don't want to work for this company. Like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, it's a little different, I guess. When you say insult your intelligence, I've had companies who have tried to play around with the naming conventions of the roles. So, like, they'll advertise it as this role, and then you start interviewing, and then you get through the full rounds of interviews, and when they offer you, the pay is significantly less and the title is completely different than what the job application showed.
Damn.
So I've had experiences with things like that where I'll just give one example. Thought I was interviewing for an associate product manager role, but I was actually interviewing for like a product analyst role. And like, based on the description, you wouldn't know that. But once the offer comes through and you see that they're offering $60,000 instead of a six-figure salary job, and then the title is this, but you advertise it as this. I mean, I feel like personally that's some example of insulting your intelligence. as
Right.
opposed to like, you know, when you start interviewing, they just think you're dumb, so they ask you dumb questions.
Mm.
Like that's like a whole nother example of insulting your intelligence. I say be careful with that too. When you're interviewing, like don't just go in there assuming that everything is exactly as you've seen it. Like start asking questions and
Yep.
probing them too. Come ready with questions that make you understand like
Very
this
important.
is what I think I'm applying to. And you can use Tay's method of like if it's not in the interview early, don't waste your time.
Yep.
Move on, go about your business because you're gonna be pissed off when you get to the last round after 5 or 6 interviews, weeks of interviewing, just to find out that half of what I was even thinking is on the table and it's
Right.
not even for a role that I was applying to. I'm
Yep.
overqualified for this, but you're trying to get me in and lowball me.
Yep. You
Yeah,
gotta
I
ask
ain't
them
gonna
like,
lie.
hey, like, what's the day to day look like? You know, they like
Yeah.
questions like that.
Right.
Anyways, what does your day to day look like? Because if you
Like,
can't explain it to me, or if what you're explaining does not apply to, any of my needs or wants, then bro, like, it's just
BS.
gonna, yeah, I'm gonna holla at y'all.
Cause job
Right.
descriptions are very
Big facts.
vague. Like job descriptions are so vague nowadays, bro. Like they're extremely vague. Like you literally have to ask them, like, hey, what do you do? Like when you clock in, what do you do? And
Yeah.
for me as well too, just so I don't waste my time. Like I make sure like the salary range is something that I'm in. I know like I've heard so many people they've interviewed, got in interviews, do good. When it comes to the offer time, their salary is nowhere near what they thought it was. And I'm just like, you probably should have asked them the salary range beforehand. I know some people like, well, they forced me to do this. Like, no, well, first off, nobody can force you to do anything. And if they, and honestly, and I know I hate keep saying this, but a lot of big tech companies they start to get transparent with like where they're paying, where their range for what they hiring for. Like literally, like this, like last stretch of interviews, like they was just like, hey, like this is our salary range. Is that okay with you? Yeah, that's cool with me. Like they straight because they don't want to waste nobody's time. They don't want to waste their time.
Right.
And it's just like, so you really got to be careful with that. And it also depends on the industry because, some people, like I think in the state of Colorado, like you have to like, hey, this is the
It's
salary.
like 150. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
like
like this the minimum that we're willing to pay for someone in Colorado. And the thing, and that's another,
what the hell is going on
What
right
the
here?
hell?
let me ban them.
Somebody done put the bots in here.
I banned them. That was definitely a bot. But nah, so and sometimes like I look at like, okay, so this the minimum y'all willing to pay in Colorado. I can deal with this. Like I know this. Like all right, bet cool. It kind of give me an idea of what y'all willing to pay. Cause like I ain't gonna lie, I'm the type of person. If they don't want to give me a range, I'm like, all right, cool. And this a random number. This is not what I should say. I'm like, all right, I'm looking for $150,000 to $300,000. I'm giving you a big ass range. If you're gonna make it that hard for you to try to give me something, and when I say 150 to 300, that's the total compensation. Total compensation. That's base, bonus, stock, all that. So like I would give a huge range because I'm like, all right, I'm not playing this game. Man, this is what I'm looking for. And sometimes they're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we can deal with that. And anytime they do that, I interview, and whenever I find out like what exactly I'm going to be doing, what I'm, like actually understand the fuller day to day, I'm like, okay, well, now that I understand what I'm going to be doing, these are now my salary requirements. And it's like I'm not changing my numbers or anything like that after I get an offer. I mean, I'm always going to negotiate, but I always try to tell, like when I'm talking to recruiters and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm looking like this is my salary range. I give them a huge one, and I'm like, but based on like what I will be doing, and once I learn what the team is doing, what I'll be responsible for, then it may change. It just really depends on what it is that I'm dealing with. And most of the time, like they don't have a problem with that because they understand like job descriptions are so vague when it comes to like certain positions. Like it's extremely vague. It's like, you got all this stuff right here, like 10 years of Python, 5 years of cloud, fucking 10 years of blockchain security, bro. Blockchain security is 2-3 years old. Like how about have 10 years of experience?
Yo, and that's
So-
an interesting talking point too. Like for people applying to jobs, like if you actually consider the requirements to be like, a real thing, and that kind of discourages you from applying, then like this is not the field for you. With all due respect. because every job I've had, I was not like, what do you call it? What's the word? Can't even think today. I was not the perfect match, I guess, to say the least, right? Like they were looking for a unicorn. I didn't meet any of the requirements. That's what I was trying to say. And they are essentially looking for unicorns in each of those job descriptions. Like you'll never
Facts.
check every box ever, And I'm taking those words right out of it's a guy named IT Career Questions. Like he literally said that, and I was like, damn, like you're right. Like I don't know why I'm not applying to these big companies, like you said, the Fangs or the other big tech companies, because everyone has to start from somewhere. And
Yep.
you'd be surprised at how many of these corporations actually know that. Like I've been in interviews and I'm like, well, yeah, I don't have any red teaming experience on paper. However, this is what I've done. These are the kind of labs that I'm working on. These are the tools that I've used. Like I know how they work, and they know. Like they're like, yeah, like we get it. You have to be put in a role in order to kind of be able to acquire the skill set. But if it's something very specific, like reverse engineering, malware, or reverse engineering something else, like that is very, very specific,
I never had to
So,
reverse engineer nothing. Like
yeah,
I don't even know the first place to start reverse engineering anything.
gotta bring up that debugger, man. That is
Yeah.
not fun. That's not fun at all. Like, but it's something that it kind of comes to the territory, I guess, dependent.
You ever thought about going into it, like going reverse engineering?
Oh yeah, I'm already in it, like for sure. Like that's
Oh well,
something that
yeah.
it's not like it's not a role I would want, no, but the skill set, absolutely. Like
Okay.
my end goal in all of this is to be able to essentially write 0 days, like kind of for the good though, not to go and do anything morally unethical, but
Yeah.
it's for the good of like whatever organization I'm supporting at the time. This guy, whatever organization I'm supporting is kind of just, like, let me write a 0 day and kind of, show you guys how this breaks. But at the same time, with the skill set like that, I'd have years of experience, and I'd pretty much be writing my own paycheck, I would assume, like
Yeah.
I would assume they'd be paying whatever I'm asking. So like, I don't see why I wouldn't, be all right with that.
And I think that's another thing too. Like when you get in like cybersecurity, bro, or just like security, I don't think people realize like the power you have. So you morally you have to be a morally good person, like, cause it's really easy to go black hat and get to selling exploits and charging, like, bro, it's really easy to go in that dark way and just like be morally wrong when it comes to stuff like that, like, cause the power you get, like knowing how stuff works, bro, like it's scary. Personally, I've
Yeah,
never went that route, but
yeah, no, it's not
it's
worth it. It's not
yeah,
worth it.
get locked up. Cause people be typically thinking like, oh, like if I get caught doing this, the FBI gonna give me a job, bro. Okay, do that shit.
Right.
Do.
Like, keep watching those movies. Somebody
You
said,
gonna be
how do you
locked
guys
up.
network with recruiters? I typically, when I was job searching, I was looking for certain jobs that looked cool to me, and I would just go on LinkedIn and type in, like I said, whatever you say over here. I would just go on LinkedIn and type in the company, or type in that specific position, to kind of get a better idea of who worked for that company under that same specific team I wanted to be on, and I would message them directly. So like recruiters weren't, well, my current job it was, but like prior to that, I would reach out to leads and managers directly and kind of
Yeah.
ask them about the open requisition, and kind of just be like, hey, like, well, here's my skill set. I wouldn't send them my resume or anything. I'd just say, what type of ideal candidate are you looking for? So they can, probably give you a better sort of perspective. And then I would, tell them whether or not my skills match. And I tell them like, hey, I'm applying for the position. And when I apply and I send my resume, I put my name, I use my name as a naming convention, right? I don't just label it as resume, like, .pdf. Like I put my full name and a resume. I think people underestimate the power of LinkedIn like these days, and it's kind of like talked about a lot. But when somebody connects with you, it's not like a ghost connect. It's not like LinkedIn forced them to do it. They
Yeah.
connected with you, so like you have a direct pipeline. So, like recruiters, I don't even really like dealing with recruiters, to be honest. Like I said, my current recruiter, I think he had to be like the best, but they're balancing or juggling so many different people. It's kind of like, why? I know I'm just a number to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go use my OSINT skills legally to go find the person that is actually hiring and message them.
And also depends if it's recruiters or a headhunter. Cause like you have some headhunters where it's some unknown staffing agency trying to get you. Like, honestly, bro, if it's not a recruiter directly from that company, I'm not entertaining it. Like, I don't really reply to it because first off, those are the recruiters that typically ghost you. Like, the no names from like a different country or XYZ staffing agency. I'm like, bro, I've never heard of y'all. And then they be asking like, send me your rate, your last 4 years social security. I'm not, bro. What? That like I'm already. I get so many of them emails like, hey, yeah, we looking for this position. Tell me your rate, your last 4 years. Bro, what? Do I look stupid? Like, I don't know if this is a scam or if they just really like know that I'm not doing that. Like, if it's not directly from the recruiter of that company, I ignore it. I treat it like spam because at the end of the day, it is spam.
Yeah, unsolicited, absolutely, and that's what I don't get when people, I get people are job searching, but like applying to like 300 to 400 jobs. Like I read those types of posts on LinkedIn, and I'm like, guys, like, do you know? Like, think depending on what you have in your resume, 300 to 400 people plus now have that information, and people even these days like don't even really know how to like, be open but private with their resume. They'll put their address and their phone number and like everything else, and it's like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, nobody, the hiring manager doesn't care about where you live. Stop putting down your resume. Like, I
people this all the time.
North American region. Like, I put North American region. You don't even really need to know where I live until I'm in the interview room.
God damn, my battery packs keep dying. Well, I guess this the end then.
I gotta go.
Because I'm out of batteries now. I'm out of batteries.
We got to do this again, man. Get Day up here and there's another guy in here. Get his name. Textual chatter in here.
Oh, Ari. Yeah, I'm down.
Cybersecurity in here. Got to get a young panel. Let's get a 30 and younger panel in here.
I'm down for that. We can actually plan that off. Text. But you guys, if you missed it out or you didn't make it all the way through, I am going to have this located on the YouTube channel. Yes. It's going to be able to go watch it. And also, the episode that we have out with Premiere is actually up.
It's out. Holy
it's out. So
y'all should go from here to watching that. That'd be good for y'all.
I'm gonna go put the link in there.
Podcast out now, guys. I also own a Discord, so like, I mean, you could go find me somewhere and just message me.
I got everybody's social media in the description.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So just message me, guys, if y'all have any other questions or anything.
Like, I got everybody. God, where is that?
I got it. I'm gonna send it to you right now. If there's anybody who is non-traditional, looking outside of cybersecurity, wanting to do more than just cybersecurity, like you want to look into more like product management or program management, things of that nature, y'all should hit me up, man. I got a lot of information and knowledge I can share there too. These guys can talk all day long about cybersecurity, security engineering, but I can really put y'all on some game for some product program and Scrum stuff, like the Agile stuff, anything like that. Y'all should hit me up.
But on a real, I'm actually going to send people your way because I have a lot of friends that are interested in PM. They don't know what route to take or like how it works, internally. So like, if you don't mind, I actually have like a few like actual, friends
send them
in your way.
Send them my way, man. I'm probably the most non-traditional product person that there is. Like, I didn't get the MBA and jump right in. I had to go from the ground up. So I can definitely share with people who are trying to go a similar path.
All right, yeah, that sounds good then, for sure. You know what I mean? I know Tay battery is gone.
Yeah, it's. I'm still here though. I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Battery gone, so I think it's a safe, place to end it at and stuff. We could definitely plan something in the future though, man. It was good talking to you guys for sure. Like, but we definitely have to get that panel of people up here, man. There's a lot of talented individuals in the field that'll be able to shed some light or some insight, to other people looking to transition.
Yes, sir.
Bro, Watts raised the prices again. It's $70 a pop now.
This man's talking about for a haircut. We're gonna end the live.
My bad. I'm sorry, y'all. I just got that email. I like,
dang, 70 for a haircut, bro. That's the last time.
Oh man, I'll be there next week, but my fault. Finish.
Damn.
Yeah, man. We appreciate y'all.
For sure, man. Everybody have a great night, man. Appreciate y'all. If y'all need anything, just message me. Everyone have a good one.
All right.
Talk to y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it.